This video demonstrates how to create an MRS cluster user. FusionInsight uses role-based permission control to manage permissions of the big data system. It centrally displays and manages permission management functions of each component in the system, shields internal permission management details from common users, and simplifies permission management operations for administrators to improve the usability and user experience of rights management. If Ranger authentication is enabled for components in the cluster, Ranger manages permissions through policy-based permission control to implement fine-grained data access control on components. A component supports only one permission control mechanism at a time. After the Ranger permission control policy is enabled for a component, the permission of the role created on FusionInsight Manager for the component becomes invalid. You need to add a policy on the Ranger management page to assign permissions on resources. Permissions are defined on the component side and allow access to certain resources of the component. Different components have different permissions for their own resources. A role is a set of component permissions. A role can have multiple permissions of multiple components, and different roles can have the same resource permission of the same component. A user group is a collection of users. After a user group is associated with one or more roles, the users in the user group have the component permissions defined by these roles. For some components, the system assigns some permissions to specific default user groups by default. A user is a visitor of the system. The rights of each user are the rights corresponding to the user group and role associated with the user. To obtain the rights, a user needs to be added to a user group or associated with a role. This video demonstrates how to create a user with the read and execute permissions on the user directory of HDFS for a component that does not enable Ranger authentication. First, create a role with the read and execute permissions on the HDFS user directory. Log in to FusionInsight Manager as the admin user. Click Create Role. Enter the role name. In the Configure Resource Permission list, locate the storage location of the user directory in HDFS. Select Read and execute permissions. Click OK. The role is created. Next, let's see how to create a user and bind the created role to the user. Click Create. Enter the username. Set user type to human machine. Enter the password and confirm the new password. Click Add to add a Hadoop user group. Select Hadoop as the primary group. Click Add to add the created role. Click OK. The user is created. After a user is created, the user can access the corresponding MRS cluster resources. This video describes how to upload a local TXT file to the user directory of the HDFS on the node where the cluster client has been installed. Log into the node where the client is installed as the root user. Switch to the opt directory. Create a TXT file and insert data into the file. Switch to the client installation directory. Configure environment variables and authenticate the user. Change the password upon your first login. Upload the local TXT file to the user directory of the HDFS. View the TXT File uploaded to the HDFS.